Deadline Fantasy Baseball Special here on CBS Sportsline. Hi, I'm Amber Wilson. Tuesday is the final day to make non-waiver moves in Major League Baseball, and general managers never have fantasy owners in mind when making moves around this time of year, so it's our responsibility to break every move down for you. Monday was a busy day on the phones, especially in the NL East, where the Braves and the Phillies have been chasing the Mets from day one of the season. The Braves have had an up-and-down year so far, trying to stay competitive, but have fallen back into third place in the division, 4.5 games out. First base has been their biggest concern all year, even going so far as scavenging the ancient Julio Franco off the waiver wires for the Mets. But Monday, they made the move that they feel will boost them right back into the thick of things in the East. The Braves added Mark Teixeira to the middle of their lineup in exchange for Jared Saltalamacchia and 3 minor leaguers, instantly improving the Braves lineup and infuriating Mark Teixeira owners in AL-only leagues. Mark Teixeira is a first-round draft pick, and we don't see another move of this caliber going down, making the Braves the early winners of the trade season. Teixeira replaces Scott Thorman at first in Atlanta, and Saltalamacchia will move Gerald Laird back to being a reserve for the Rangers. Kevin Garnett's not the only Minnesota athlete moving east. Luis Castillo will also pack his bags and direct his wagons east towards New York. The Mets lost their second baseman, Jose Valentin, who broke his right shin a couple of weeks ago, and have been replacing him with Ruben Gotay and Damian Easley. But they needed a better defensive player and someone to bat second behind Jose Reyes, and they found him in 3-time All-Star Luis Castillo. This trade will bolster the Mets lineup and defense and also help Jose Reyes steal more bases and score even more runs. The Phillies also lost their second baseman, Chase Utley, to a broken bone in his hand, and they were quick to replace him with Tadahito Iguchi from the Chicago White Sox. Iguchi was pretty clutch down the stretch in 2005 when the Sox made their run, and the Phillies hope Iguchi can fill the void while Utley recovers from his injury, which he thinks will only take 3 weeks, but more than likely it will take over a month. Phillies also will try to bolster their rotation by adding Kyle Lohse from Cincinnati. His 6-12 record may not be very exciting, but he actually held his own in one of the worst pitchers' parks in the National League, going 4-3 with a 2.57 ERA. Citizens Bank Ballpark and the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati have very similar dimensions. Also, the Phillies' offense and bullpen are big upgrades from the Reds, so Lohse could have a much better last couple of months. And we welcome senior fantasy baseball analyst Eric Mack to the show. And Eric, the National League is using the American League as a flea market here. I mean, Teixeira, Iguchi, Castillo, what are AL-only owners supposed to do?
Well, they could wait for tables to turn or get proactive on some of these prospects. There's low-end flyers to take here. Saltalamacchia is a must-add catcher in all AL-only leagues and deeper mixed leagues as well, while second-base prospects Danny Richard and Alexei Castilla will get extended looks to earn starting jobs for 2008. Richard has pop, while Castilla is a cheaper and younger Castillo, a slap-hitting base stealer for deeper rotisserie leagues. First base in Texas is also a hole now, and Jason Botts might be a potential call-up. The 6'5" behemoth is hitting .320 in AAA and has long been considered a potential power bat for AL-only leagues. You can take that flyer right now just in case he gets called up.
All right, and NL-only owners have quite the free agent acquisition period here coming up. Do you have any advice for them?
Well, it's a huge boon to get Teixeira now, but let's be smart here. If you aren't in the top third in your free agent acquisition budget dollars, you're best off being aggressive on the second tier guys. You can get Ty Wigginton's, Tadaguchi's, Castillo's on the cheap, especially if everyone's saving their loot for big techs. If you have the money, spend it all on techs. This is the best player to change teams at the deadline in years, but he's not going to lose values like you'd think from a hitter's park to a pitcher's park. That's a far better supporting cast in Atlanta. It might even make the 27-year-old one of the best players in fantasy in the final third of the season.
Wow, all right. And there's also some closers on the move today. Could possibly be, anyways. Eric Gagne, Octavio Sotel, and Al Reyes. Who's going to become a closer?
Well, you got to get a jump on the competition. And there's some guys who, if you're scouring for saves, you should scrape up. Joakim Soria in KC, Joaquin Benoit in Texas, and Dan Wheeler in Tampa. These guys will be closing for last-place teams if those guys in front of them get traded, but saves are gold mines for fantasy owners. Benoit will only close if Akinori Otsuka is hurt or dealt, while Soria is a Rule 5 rookie with long-term potential. Soria might be the most intriguing one of that trio.
All right, Eric, and what are your thoughts on the Kevin Garnett trade?
Well, can he hit a curveball? Otherwise, I couldn't care less.
I know, you have a lot on your plate today. Thanks as always, Eric. Don't forget to check back with us after the deadline for any breaking news. And if you missed anything here today, stop, refresh, and rewatch. For Eric Mack, I'm Amber Wilson.